.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. Stick is filling the job of two today, in for D-Mac and Terry Foster. Stick, what's good, man?
A lot of heavy lifting to cover for those two today. That's all I know.
Absolutely. Speaking of heavy, one half of the heavyweights on the ones and twos. We got Spencer Raxter back with us here today. How was the Coliseum yesterday?
It's good as always. Always, yeah.
I know how he got the nickname Spenmo Rax.
Yeah.
You spent some racks yesterday?
Yeah. Maybe not some racks, but
rack.
all right. Some money was thrown.
Woodward Heavyweights, man, live your best life. Speaking of living his best life, he is Sam Flannel here today as well. He still has J.J. McCarthy as his number one in the Heisman race, still holding tight over C.J. Stroud. Isn't that right?
Erroneous on all counts.
No?
No.
Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, Blake Corum 1, J.J. McCarthy 2, C.J. Stroud 3.
I wonder who it's
right?
going to be next week.
That is false information. I've never said that. But you know what? That's okay. We can get into it later on the show. I cannot wait.
Absolutely. Speaking of the show, you can get involved with the show as well. The WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump in there and get your thoughts out there. Detroit Dabber 313. Order's been restored. Hit us with the what up, dough. Tammy Chin says, good morning. Happy Red Wings first preseason game. Yes, the Red Wings in action tonight, which is, there's two things that are crazy today. Number one, that the Red Wings start preseason play against the Penguins.
Yep.
And number two, the Tigers are still playing.
Who?
They're still playing. Do you? No.
Let's go to a game. Let's go watch this. There's a lot of potential left. They're not mathematically eliminated yet, Neal. There's still a chance for them to not lose 100 games this season. And that's a win. That's a win. We're not going to lose 100 games. If I would have told you that coming into the season, you'd been like, that's a quality year for the Detroit Tigers.
Do you remember when we were downtown?
No.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were downtown? The rest of us, not names.
Oh, we're talking opening day?
Yeah.
That was a good day.
I don't remember.
Good day, Spence. We had fun that day.
Yeah, we did.
Remember that day, though? Remember the vibe?
Mm-hmm. They got the W, too.
They
off.
just, yeah. Javi Baez winning the game. I think that's the last strike he swung at. Do you remember that? That was a lifetime ago, and they're still playing.
Simpler times. That's why baseball is just such a long-ass season. That's why it's so tough to get casual fans to watch baseball, honestly, because games don't essentially matter. They really don't. One baseball game is equivalent to 1/10 of a football game. So you're talking 6 minutes of a football game is what a baseball game is equivalent to.
That's wild. I never heard it broke down like that before. That's what I get with stick, though.
Math. Solid math. Numbers don't
facts.
lie.
Yeah.
But for real, think about that. 6 minutes of a football game is one baseball game during the regular season. That's what it breaks down
And
to.
it takes 4 hours.
Yeah, that 6 minutes takes 4 hours. And I love baseball. Damn, I want these Tigers to be good.
Well, you ain't getting it, so I'm sorry. Speaking of dealing, in fact, Steve Brown in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I'm actually going to the Pirates game tomorrow for a work event. It's supposed to be 60. Well, plenty of seats available.
You know what's sad?
They're the NL Tigers.
April in the D used to be a thing, right?
Right.
Tigers going into the starting the season, Pistons going into the playoffs, Red Wings going into the playoffs. Now October in the D is what we got because the seasons are starting for the Red Wings, starting for the Pistons, the Lions are in full go, and the Tigers are ending. Like, this is our golden sports time now. It's no more April in the D. October in the D is the best time for sports.
Well, I've always contended October is the best sports month. It gets slept on, but it is the best sports month.
It's the best month, period.
Well, because like we're cracking on baseball, and it's been a long time, so we don't remember it. But do you guys remember, playoff baseball is awesome.
Oh.
And this is going to be really geeky. And it's funny to hear me kind of trash baseball, but then at the same time, come here and tell you guys what's better than the 1-1 pitch in playoff baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike. It changes everything.
Yeah.
Every at bat.
That's the thing, like with playoff baseball, because I'm a fringe hockey fan. I'm not all in on hockey. I'll watch some games, and the way I qualify this is like NFL. I'll watch any team, anytime, anywhere. Basketball, I watch the majority of games in the NBA.
I used to be like that, But I stood up to the NFL this year. When Broncos 49ers was going the way it was going, I left. I left the building.
See, I even watched the Cowboys last night.
Well,
against...
then that's a you problem, Stick.
No, I love football.
No, you will. Don't worry. You can say that because you're lying to yourself mentally.
No.
There will come a day where you stand up for yourself and don't take that anymore. Just because the NFL force feeds it to you doesn't mean you have to eat it, Stick. But whatever. Go on. I'm sorry to divert the conversation.
Oh, that's okay. No, I was just saying that, like, of all sports, baseball, outside the Tigers, I don't really have an interest in watching other teams. I have an interest in maybe watching Shohei Ohtani, maybe watching Aaron Judge hit a home run.
The big tickets.
Yeah, but outside of that, there's really nothing for me left in baseball, and I hate it. But to your point, when you get to playoff baseball, it's elevated, man. And playoff baseball, to me, is like playoff hockey, and that's where I was starting to go with that point. I don't love hockey like I love the other sports, but I'll watch playoff hockey because they take it up like 4 notches compared to the regular season.
No doubt, no doubt. In our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Lewis M. says, all my Florida people be safe. I'm unfortunately in the city. The hurricane is directly hitting first on the coast, so they forced me to evacuate, left all my stuff behind. Well, Lewis, I hope everything works out for everybody down there. I got a lot of friends down there as well. Most of my people are more South Florida way. They told me that they're getting the thunderstorms and the rain and stuff like that, but it's nowhere near what it's supposed to be like there. So hope everything works out for you, my guy, and hopefully you come back and all your stuff's still like in the house and the house is still standing. Like it's crazy to think about, man, but that's the way it is. That's the Florida thing. I got a job offer in Miami a couple years ago, and I wanted to take it bad, like real bad. And my wife was like, the hurricane thing, and I was like, but how often really does it hit the city you're living in? Well,
I mean, let's play the odds on this one.
And Lewis M., he just had to leave his stuff behind, bro.
That's one thing. Another thing Michigan slept on, no natural disasters outside tornadoes. That's it.
And when was the last time there was one here? Like in
this summer. Oh, like in the metro area? I mean, there was one up in like little north of us this summer. It hit Waterford area type.
Yeah?
Yeah, but nothing like crazy. I remember when I was a kid, I think in like the late 80s, early 90s, there was a huge one that ripped through Walled Lake and like tore apart all the trailer parks with all my friends, and it was wild. But yeah, that's the only natural disaster we got to deal with. We don't have many poisonous animals up here. Like, we got fresh water.
There was a tornado Gaylord this year, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, that one was pretty rough. Yeah, up there.
Tore some stuff up.
Yeah, but again, we're thinking of everybody. Hope everybody gets out of that okay and all of that. But yeah, man, I mean, the Tigers, they're still playing. Sam Flannel looked it up, by the way. You can get tickets if you want to go. If you're into like S&M stuff and you want to go down there and watch the Tigers play the Royals, $3.
Hey, if you really want to see Bobby Witt Jr. before he really breaks out and becomes a star for the Royals, get your tickets now for $3.
You know what? If you want to go to a Tigers game today, I'll buy your ticket. Just shoot us a message. I'll take care of you today. If you're watching right now on WoodwardSports.com, just let us know, and I'll buy you a $3 ticket.
Tickets on stick.
Yep.
That's a great promotion, by the way. Can we get the voice guy to whip up a commercial real quick?
It's like when I buy rounds for the bar, I only buy whiskey because it eliminates like 90% of the people.
That's a veteran. I thought I was the only one that ever thought of that.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I'll buy bourbon. I'll
shots for everybody. Yeah. It's going to be some hard stuff, though.
Yeah, and you're right, though. You eliminate half the people in the bar that aren't going to step up and take that one. We are going to do Lions injury updates. We have some of that. We got a couple nickel packages as well. Some general college football discussion. We have to have the discussion again because of the nature of it. And some people are going to roll their eyes, but it's a big game for the Lions this weekend. It's the biggest game. That's the nature of the NFL. It is, Stick. You're shaking your head, man. It is.
I'm not shaking my head in disagreement. I'm shaking my head in disbelief. That's what I'm shaking my head for. Lot to unwrap with that.
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
Get to that.
We'll have Sam Flannel's Heisman update as well. Which Michigan Wolverine does he have in the front running for the Heisman Trophy? Blake Corum really took some steps up, so I believe Sam Flannel might have him at number 1. J.J. McCarthy slides from 1 to 2, and that C.J. Stroud, I think, is his number 3. Spencer Raxter.
Yes.
Dun-dun.
Your football team.
Dun-dun.
Your university.
Yeah.
Your alma mater.
Yes.
Your coach.
My coach.
We have to discuss in the second hour. And you're going on the stand. And I'll be real with it. You're a stand-up individual.
I appreciate that.
You said, and I respect that a lot, because a lot of certain segments of certain fan bases in this town are not stand-up. But you are. You're here for the smoke today.
Yeah.
You said you would take it.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
That moment has come.
Yeah.
And here we are. You'll be surprised, my angle on this. You'll be a little surprised on it. So
I don't think you'll be surprised on my angle.
No, I don't think so. But you laid it out.
Yeah.
Like he said it in zone, Stick. Like he laid everything out. He said this was a referendum game. He agreed.
Yeah. Pride comes before the fall. Michigan State had a lot of pride coming into the season. They've fallen.
Yeah, well, yeah, but we're going to discuss, and Spencer Raxler's going to give you his 2 cents on it. I'll take a look at the 30,000 foot. We'll discuss it all.
The deep end.
Yeah, absolutely.
The woodshed.
Yeah. There it is too in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Go Blue, says Tuck coming. I'm waiting for the first. Contract reset. By the way. That's my favorite.
What contract reset? He's good for life. Why would he reset?
No. Like Michigan fans seem to have like a walking PDF file of Tuck's contract.
Oh,
and I don't know the reason.
It's a
why.
healthy contract.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the state of the game is right now.
Oh yeah.
Lane Kiffin's in his area code with money. What
So
I'm saying,
who's the head coach for Miami? He's got an
Mario Cristobal,
$80 million contract, and he just got blown out by Middle Tennessee State.
I know, and you know what? I can't remember if we talked about this or not. I don't think we did yesterday. And you guys know this, right? When I was growing up, big Miami fan. Loved the U, loved the Hurricanes. 14 straight years with a first-round draft pick. At one time, their running back room was Willis McGahee and Edgerrin James.
Frank Gore.
That was their running back room.
Ken Dorsey, who obviously has some energy left after what we saw this weekend with him throwing his headset in his computer. Did you see Ken Dorsey doing that?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Love Ken Dorsey.
Love the U. Loved them. That defense, Antro Roll, all those guys, man.
Ed Reed was their starting safety. Sean Taylor was their backup. Is that good?
yeah.
Ray was their coke dealer. Like, they had a lot going on.
They had a lot
in those
going
days.
on. They skipped the line at the strip clubs in Miami. The Dolphins had to wait in line, but the Hurricanes walked right in. It's over.
Can you imagine that? I loved that team too growing up. They just when they came into that one, I forget what game it was, but they all walked in fatigues. I thought that was the most badass thing I'd ever seen a football team do in my life.
Right.
Like, we came for war. We came for business. I loved it.
They left the dinner with Penn State. Did the Americans sit down with dinner to the Japanese before they bombed Pearl Harbor?
But
no, and we're not either.
To be fair, Miami did lose that game to Penn State, so I don't think it has the same sort of like merit.
It does to me, because I think I was like 8 years old,
That's
and
true.
that impression still lives here. The
And
L and the W, I didn't remember.
For the record, I love
Absolutely.
the U, but they did lose that game.
Yeah,
just for the record.
but the moral of the story is it's over, and it's never coming back with Miami. And that hurts me to say. Stick.
They said that about the Coacher years when he was down there.
Stick. It's over. It's been 2 decades now. It's never coming back. It's been 2 decades since they won a national title.
I don't know. Miami's got that money. They get one rich investor that starts paying these players.
They have them all.
Boom.
They have them all. It's not working, and it's not going to work.
I'm not going to die on this hill. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. See, there you go. See? Absolutely. So, fair. All right, we solved that one. Let's move on. Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. And, they're home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere for just $10 a month. Upgrade to the Black Card, just $24.99 a month. You basically own Planet Fitness at that point. You can come and go. Over 2,000 Planet Fit Night around the world with unlimited guest privileges. I was there this morning banging out those miles on the treadmill. Had the 10K this weekend. Got ready for it all at Planet Fitness. Thinking about the mini triathlon. I was just talking to Spencer about the swimming portion of it. PlanetFitness.com. Right now on your computer, if you're really motivated, you want to wait till you're on your way home, you're going to pass a couple, pull in the parking lot there. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Scott from the Bet Show. It's Tuesday. What does that mean? Well, that means we're going to try to make your fantasy team better. So come join us over there at the Woodward Bets YouTube page at 4:30 as we talk some free agents and maybe some trades that you should look at making. And also, you got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best place to check all the odds of sports books right in the palm of your hands. But hey, let's get back to those fun coupons. Listen, I'm rolling Aaron Judge to hit a home run tonight. Tonight's the night. Big night tonight for Aaron Judge. He gets it done. 2-1 odds. Let's roll. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Hey, Alta, where uptime matters. It doesn't matter if you got a small project or a big project. They got the equipment to get it done. And they also do some great things for our community, too. We were out there at their dig site the other day. They were letting little kids operate the machines and helping them get some experience behind that, because what was cooler when you were a little kid than playing with a tractor? Nothing's better. And when you're an adult, you can do it, too, except you get stuff done with Alta. Make sure you hit them up. Go to alta.com.
Uptime.
Uptime
Back at it, Big D. You know, you never realize, since they came on board here at Woodward, when I'm driving around town, it's like there's an Alta tractor on the back of every single semi that's going around town at every construction site, everything that is going on. But back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, stick in for DMAC and T-Foss. T-Foss will be back tomorrow. DMAC is away at Red Wings Fantasy Camp, correct?
Fantasy!
Yep. So that's the rub with DMAC. You gotta,
Fantasy and rub in the same sentence with DMAC. I love it.
There you go. Absolutely.
They're having a good time.
Spencer Raxter here. Good to be back with Spence. And we have Sam Flannel.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
I got to tell you a funny DMAC story from yesterday when we were at Feldman. Everybody loves DMAC, and everybody likes to talk to him about fights and stuff, right? So one of the sales reps comes up to DMAC, and he was like, "Listen, you and Floyd Mayweather in a phone booth. Who's winning that fight?" And D-Mac just literally scoffs at the guy. He goes, "Put me and a grizzly bear in a phone booth and I'm walking out." And I just love D-Mac. I just love his mentality like that. And he's such a living legend that everybody, when they approach him, the first thing they want to do is talk about fighting. That's it.
Always.
It's amazing.
Now, they never do ask about the goal he scored,
Nope.
the lock up a
Doesn't
Stanley
matter.
Cup. They don't care.
Doesn't matter.
It is wild.
So Easy just sent me a picture of me on opening day in the aftermath, and
Yeah, buddy.
not my proudest moment, but
Well, here's the opening day. I hooked Spencer up with my bartender, and I was like, "Hey, he's the only one allowed on my tab." And Spencer put in some work.
yeah,
Spencer put in
it was
work.
a good day. And I drank a whole bottle of champagne to get the day started.
Yep,
so,
on stage.
yeah.
Good times.
Living your best life,
Oh yeah,
man.
that's what it's all about.
Can't wait for opening day when we have hope for the Tigers again.
Yeah.
You guys going to go down that road again, are you?
Oh, every year opening day. Yeah, Hopening Day. I'm going to start calling it.
Hopium Day.
Hopium Day.
Hopium Day. Everybody grab the, grab the rubbers and, line them up. Tie it up.
All right.
Here we go. What do they call, those little rubber things that you use, like the heroin addicts use, the hopium addicts?
Okay, see, I
Yeah.
thought you were talking condoms.
Well,
Oh, that's all. Oh, you had a puzzle look like, hey, line up the rubbers. It's
Yeah.
opening day. I'm like, I mean, it is a party.
well, it is a party, right? I saw you guys doing work down there. I know what you guys are doing. No, Detroit Lions do have to clean up some of the injury updates. Tracy Walker done for the year. That actually kind of broke while we were on yesterday. DeAndre Swift's going to be out at least 2 weeks. So, Sam Flannel, do you think that pretty much sinks the battleship in terms of leading the NFC in rushing yards?
It's definitely on life support, I would say. Probably dead. It's just as disappointing because the first game he played so well. I truly believe that he was on track to becoming one of the best running backs in the NFL, but the injury bug bit him again. He just can't stay healthy, and that's part of being a great running back. Availability is the best ability, and he's just never available. He's always nicked up with something, and I hope he comes back strong, but I think my prediction is now dead, and it sucks.
To quote our boy Ryan Lentz in the back, he's not injury prone. He just gets hurt a lot.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That's fair. That is a true Ryan Lentz quote.
That was an exact quote when we were talking about Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, DeAndre Swift going down. I mean, you saw the space he was able to create in this offense. You saw even falling down on a play, he was able to score, the explosiveness, the wiggle in space. You saw during Hard Knocks how they were talking about, hey, man, this the guy. He's a weapon. It's a major, major, major hurt to this team, but so is Tracy Walker. So is Amon-Ra St. Brown, where we have an undisclosed timetable for when he's going to come back. I mean, but this is the NFL. When Joik used to sit up here in these seats, what did he say? It's not if, it's when you're going to get hurt.
Absolutely. And
it's 100%.
Look, that's why I always talk about that when we talk about season prognostications. And you had Sam Flannel when he talked about the DeAndre Swift thing. And I said, Sam, like, that's aggressive because you know the track record. He's going to miss time. He's going to.
It's kind of the nature of hopium, right? You're like, this is the year. And after week 1, my prediction was looking pretty good. And then, of course, that 50-yard run in the first quarter of game 2, I'm like, let's ride. Here we go. And then he was clearly hobbled in that game. He was clearly hobbled in last game. And now he has a shoulder injury. So unfortunately, he's not going to lead the NFC in rushing. I'm calling my pick today, but I'm not saying that to make excuses. I'm saying that to say you can give me all the smoke you want now.
But here's the deal. I don't think you were wrong. He is talented enough to do that. He's just not durable enough to do that.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it in week 1. You saw it in week 2 in the first quarter. It's just he is a dynamic, shifty running back, but he just can't stay on the field. It's like almost every game, there's little nicks and bumps and bruises, missing 2 games here, 1 game here, 3 games there. I think he's played, 13 games in the first 2 seasons, which means he's missed 8 in the first 2, and now he's going to miss a couple more. He's just not durable. His availability has not been good, and that's part of the game. And I don't know. I'm very disappointed, but let's just hope he comes back healthy so he can be there for maybe a stretch run at this point. That's the best you can hope for.
Yeah, but here's where it is with me is Penei Sewell's fine. I legit don't care who you throw back there. They're going to get 100 yards rushing because that's what they do. That's where they live.
I mean, Jamal Williams had 20 for 87 and 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty damn good last week, and he's just kind of a between-the-tackles, straightforward runner. And Penei Sewell can obviously, blow his defender off the ball. Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow. So their running game is going to be fine. It's just DeAndre Swift adds a different element, and selfishly, I just really wanted him to lead the NFC in rushing so bad because I went out on such a limb, and it's not going to pay off, unfortunately.
Well, it's interesting because you can just throw that on the heap with your Nebraska's back, your J.J. McCarthy's going to win the Heisman, all of those. Just throw them on the heap with the other ones.
Aiden Hutchinson, 3 sacks in 3 games, on pace for 17. That 12 sacks in Defensive Rookie of the Year is alive and well.
Oh, man. Thank God for that 3-sack half because he didn't even have a tackle. First game, half a tackle. Last game, no tackles. I love Aiden Hutchinson. I want to see him succeed, but, he is on pace. The numbers are the numbers.
The numbers are the numbers. No question.
But no, to your point about Jamal Williams and to your point about who's running behind this line, yeah, Jamal Williams had 2 touchdowns in Minnesota. The first running back to do that for the Lions since Barry Sanders.
Right.
That's how long it's been since we've been able to just dominate that side of the ball. And you saw it last year when Swift went down. Offense still ran the ball. Craig Reynolds going to get his shine.
Because the components of the run game, i.e., maybe one of the most dominant tackles in the National Football League in Penei Sewell is there.
And did you see Rashawn Slater went down? That was kind of the guy that me and Adam were going back for if we were going to take a lineman in that draft. He wanted Rashawn Slater, who we thought was more NFL ready in the immediate. Penei Sewell was going to grow into the greater player, and now Slater's out, and Penei Sewell is a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, to me, if you were going to have an injury, and again, we know injuries are going to happen. That's the nature of the beast in the National Football League. If you were going to have an injury for the Detroit Lions, this would be the area. Like if they said, "Hey, you have to pick one,"
right?
This would probably be the one that I would pick for real. That would be the one that I would pick because that offensive line. It doesn't matter who's back there. They're going to get 100 yards rushing next week. They are.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Go back through the box score since Penei Sewell showed up.
That's been our strength. And, hopefully, even with Amon-Ra St. Brown and now Swift being out, hopefully they're kind of going to expedite Jameson Williams to come back, maybe. Not to go against, his health and force him to come back early and subject him to getting injured. But really, it may, all right, we plan on bringing him back week 7. Now we may bring him back, the game before the bye week and then give him 2 weeks to rest before the next game or something like that. So it could force Jameson Williams to get back on the field faster. But with Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't want to say this, but his dad was clowning KD during the Hard Knocks about not being able to stay on the court, about getting injured, not training right, and now Amon-Ra's out. I hate that I even had to connect those two dots. It's one of those things, in the moment it was hilarious. They clown KD. But now that Amon-Ra's not playing, it's damn it, I wish he wouldn't have said anything.
And speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, the initial reports are positive in that there's no big-time damage in his ankle or anything like that. Still haven't heard a timetable for what they expect. But the first signs are encouraging, I guess you could say. So that certainly is good news. Now, that is a guy you cannot lose.
No, you can't. I mean, he is our offense. He is the safety valve. He is what other teams scheme against. And if we lose that, it's going to be a lot harder in that passing game. We're going to have to rely a lot more on Jamal Williams, a lot more on the play-action pass, because we won't have the guy that's constantly open.
Joey, 2 times on our WoodwardSports.com chat thread says Justin Jackson can do a lot of what Swift can do. I think they'll lean more heavily on Craig Reynolds anyway, though. And don't sleep on Justin Jackson. Don't sleep on him, man.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pro.
He's not Swift, though.
No, he's not, but he is a pro, and he is a guy that has had some success in the NFL. That drives into my point, though. I even didn't think about it initially this morning when I heard the news about Swift officially being out for a couple weeks. I even forgot that they still had Justin Jackson, too. We have a little bit of a known in Craig Reynolds. Craig, know. Can I borrow your VCR? I need to dub a tape.
Stealing boxes.
I know that he was there. He has a limited body of work where we have seen him had success. So it just kind of reinforces my point about the offensive line. If I had to pick one, that's the one I'm picking. So, there is that. I don't like that. When we come back, we do have some other stuff that we do need to talk about, the whole Tracy Walker situation, what that will entail for the Detroit Lions. The Jeff Okudah hype, man.
Hey, baby.
It's real. It's real in the streets. It is real out here in the streets. We'll discuss that as well. Sam Flannel, talk to me about Mr. Phillips.
Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. Again, that is 313-403-0011. Game on.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Make sure you check out the all-new WoodwardSports.com website. Interactive, everything's on and popping there. Stick is here in for D-Mac and T-Foss. T-Foss will be back tomorrow. D-Max away with Red Wings Fantasy Camp. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here as well. Jump into our WoodwardSports.com chat. Lamico Cardenas says, what up, though, Big D Energy and WSN Brigade. Appreciate you tapping in, Lamico. Good to have you here with us. Jack Harrington, Neal, are you going to be the judge in Spencer's college football case? I am. Judge, jury, and executioner.
And I will be the bailiff.
And Stick will be the bailiff. Sam Flannel will be the court reporter. He just...
Any kind of contempt, Spence. I'm going to come over there and throw your ass out.
Throw the cuffs on you and take you out. But that'll be coming up in the second hour of the show. We'll have a Nickle package coming up in a little bit as well. Just kind of wrapping up the injury discussion, though. As we know, Tracy Walker out for the year with the torn Achilles. And you know how this works now, Stick? Kirby Joseph,
next
I believe.
Man up.
You're the next man up. Go, Rook.
We saw some exciting things about Kirby Joseph. I mean, we saw him drop almost a game-winning interception in the preseason. He's got some skills. He's another one of those late-round draft picks that we could sneak out and get a starter out of. Obviously, you don't want to see that come at the expense of a Tracy Walker, who was kind of like an emotional leader of the team, too. And that's part of the reason I'm more concerned that he's out than anything else, because he's the veteran on the team, man. He was the guy that a lot of people looked up to. But Kirby Joseph, that's it. It's next man up. That's the mentality of the Detroit Lions. Show me your grit. Wear that hat. Wear it on your T-shirt, but show me it on the field.
Show us.
Show me.
But it is, though. But this is the nature of the beast. And now it's going to be his time to go, man. It is. It's going to get real for Kirby Joseph really quickly.
Yeah, welcome to the NFL. I mean,
DK Metcalf's out there. Good luck.
And this is kind of what happened to Jeff Okudah too, his rookie year as well. Like, hey man, you're all we got, so you're going to go out there and you're going to guard their very best, and the very best in the NFL is pretty damn good. But yeah, first check against DK Metcalf, who's an absolute freak. Luckily, he doesn't have Russell Wilson anymore. He's only got Geno Smith throwing him the ball, so that's going to help a little bit in this first game. At least it's against Seattle and not against Pat Mahomes, who's just going to tear you apart. But yeah, Joseph, we get a chance to see it. I don't know what he is yet because I haven't seen it yet.
Right, and we are going to see right away. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's intriguing. I know people everyone loved Aiden. Certainly, the heavyweights and everybody loves Rodrigo. But Kirby Joseph was a pick that everybody was on board with. Everybody, Sam Flannel, you were big on the Kirby Joseph trade when it happened.
I was, but still, you said earlier that DeAndre Swift was a player that you could maybe afford to miss because we have depth at running back and a great offensive line. I feel like losing Tracy Walker is actually one of the positions that you cannot afford to lose. He is that important to the defense. And I'm a fan of Kirby Joseph. I think he's going to be a good player, but starting a third-round safety and a sixth-round linebacker, you're counting on that to hit. I don't know if I like the odds. I think they're really going to miss Tracy Walker. And even though I do like Kirby Joseph's future and his upside, both things can be true. I'm disappointed about Tracy Walker. I think that's going to be huge. But I like what Kirby Joseph can potentially be. I just don't know if he's ready right now.
Jake Wagoner in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, Spencer, you've been sentenced to death by candy corn, said by Neal Ruhl. I would never do that to a human being.
A delicious death.
At least I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, even if we were in a Middle East country, like where they give you the lashes and all, I would never sentence somebody to death by candy corn. That's inhumane on any level.
I like candy corn.
Of course you do.
I mess with it.
Of course you do.
What's wrong with candy corn? You ever seen it when people actually make the cob out of it? That's next level candy corning.
Oh, hell no.
I used to mess with you. We drank mulligans together on the golf course, and you do this to me?
8%, baby. Yeah.
That was the day. That was actually the day where I found out about the mulligans.
Oh, yeah. We're going to learn today.
The third one. Yeah. the third one was...
I used to love candy corn when I'd go trick-or-treating. The only thing I used to hate getting was apples, toothbrushes, and pennies. I used to hate getting that when I was trick-or-treating. Candy corn? I'll mess with some candy corn.
And you never got a clean penny either.
Oh,
it was always like this nasty...
some kind of grit or grime. It was always nasty pennies.
Yeah,
dude.
they're dark and you don't know why. They smell like funk. They've been in the basement forever, and some old lady just bagged them up. Like, the kids will like pennies. It's like, no, Grandma, this isn't 1903. I'm sorry.
No, they won't. But we've been talking about the secondary for the Lions with Tracy Walker being out. But I guess the yin to that yang is Jeff Okudah. And I heard Dan Campbell talking this morning, and he had interesting remarks. He was asked about Jeff Okudah's success, and he said, yeah, in man coverage he's been great, and that was it. And he stopped talking about it, which was kind of weird because it was an availability to hold court on Jeff Okudah. I thought it was weird how he just said, yeah, man coverage he's been great. So instantly, my mind, I think most people's mind goes,
zone?
What about the zone where you spend, a lot of the time in the NFL? That was interesting. And I don't know, again, it would take a deeper football mind than mine. Like, I'm not going to go back and break down tape.
Well, I was going to say, but also man coverage is kind of the only litmus test you have, because you can keep track of one-on-one matchups. You can't really keep track of zone matchups. Oh, he covered 3 people who ran through the zone for 2 seconds, right? So, I mean, really, man-to-man is really the only one-to-one that you have to go off of when evaluating defensive backs. So maybe that's why he chose to go that route. But either way, who gives a damn? Jeff Okudah's locking people down. And it's awesome that we have this number 3 overall pick that people have been panicking about for 2 years, rightfully so. But last year was injury. It had nothing to do with talent. And last year, before the season started, Jeff Okudah was talking about how this coaching staff was giving him weapons and tools to put in his bag that he didn't have before from the previous regime. And he just didn't get to show them off last year. This year, starting to show them off, and I'm here for it, man. Everybody who panicked about Jeff Okudah, everybody who threw the baby out with the bathwater, everybody who called this guy a bust, like, this is why you just need to slow the hell down. And I want to talk about Dan Campbell, too, because I saw a lot of this yesterday on Sports Talk. Not only here, but all the way around the city. It was fire Dan Campbell time. Like, come on. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah,
one game.
And you were out with us yesterday. Like, I had questions about Dan Campbell after last year coming into this year.
Go ahead.
And those questions, they continue to linger because but yeah, I mean,
like, what are we doing here? I mean, this is where D-Mac, in his clock of 34 games, yes, that buys D-Mac 2 years of not actually having to take a stand on Dan Campbell, which is nice.
Which is right where he wants to be.
And it's fair. He can have that. But for people yesterday to be, like, jumping off the bridge, and you know why? It's so irritating. And these Lions fans that do that are so irritating because they'll call the Lions SOL, but they won't realize they're the SOL Lions fans. You're the same old Lions fan that's going to give up anytime things get rough. And the minute you do that, don't come back then, right? You've already said Dan Campbell's not good enough. He's not good enough. He can't do it. Well, okay. What are you going to do now if we go on a 2-game run? We go into the bye week 3-2. Then what are you going to say? Oh, man, that Minnesota game, we could have had it. You're damn right we could have had it. We didn't get it. Move the hell on. I was just as disappointed in some of the play calling. You can go watch the post game that Anson and I were doing live from here. Like, while it's happening, I'm like, punt this. What are you doing? Punt this. This is stupid. Don't kick it. But I'm not going to say Dan Campbell can't coach because we were a minute away from saying he's the best coach we've ever had. And you can't be that wishy-washy, right? You can't.
The truth's in the middle, somewhere. It always is.
Exactly. So tuck your little emotions in your little pocket about your little loss, brush yourself off, and understand, like you said, this next week, if they don't take care of business, then let's start having to have some hard conversations. But one loss on a game that you weren't supposed to win, and you covered.
Yeah. And remember, as we always say on this show, yes, good teams win football games, but great teams cover spreads. Great. Like the San Jose State Spartans. Great. 21-8. Get right. Great. That's great, Sam Flannel. You're a hater. Like, you ignore logic and fact, but even you have said that's incredible.
I mean, you could quit your job and go 21-8 betting and make a good living out of that. So that is, by definition, great. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Kudos to you, Neal.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Ethan Brown, the pennies are all stuck together. Yeah, why? It was always like there was always like 5 of them, and they were all stuck together. I remember even as a kid, like when 5 cents or 10 cents, when you're 6 or 7 years old,
that's $0.1, man. I remember even that when I would get them out of the bottom, I would just throw them in the garbage. Yeah. Even when 10 cents was a big deal to you when you're 6 or 7 years old, I would toss that away. I'm not sitting there separating your stuck together nasty ass pennies. Not doing it.
Yeah.
No one's doing it.
Nope.
They're
Take
absolutely
that and your
not
apple
doing it.
and your toothbrush and shove it you know where.
I'd rather have an apple than candy corn.
I'll take the apple.
Yeah, I would agree.
No, I don't want the apple.
I think any sane person would take an apple over the candy corn. Steve Shattuck, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Not sure Joseph will start. Might be iffy as well. But I know that we're getting caught up in semantics here. Kirby Joseph's going to be on the field a lot. Mm-hmm. A lot. And we going to see. Like, that's what it is. But I do, yes, my heart breaks for Tracy Walker because he does seem to be a guy that wants to be here.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
An emotional leader. And we don't have many of those because we shipped out our two best in Darius Slay and Glover Quinn.
And I ride with him because he wants to be here. He wants to make it work here. So that upsets me that he's in. But the flip side of that coin is you guys know how I roll. Like, I love this. Guys can play or they can't play. Like, that's how I operate 90% of the time. That's the way it works. Guys can play or they can't play. And you know right away when you see it.
Well,
you do.
And the coaches told Kirby he could play in this league. They literally told him that during Hard Knocks. You saw that. And you could see how he was like a little kid, like, y'all really think I can make it here?
Right.
You think I can do it? But sometimes that's all you need is a little affirmation from the people above you that, hey, you are good. You could do this. You're going to be great. And next thing you know, you're running through walls for them. So if nothing else, we're going to get max effort, right? And
Sure.
that's one thing that I don't think we can ever question about this Lions team or any Dan Campbell coached Lions team up until this point. We will get the effort. Will we get the result we want? That's the big question on the table.
Yeah, and I like the fact that we're going to see if he can play. Because again, going back to it, 9 times out of 10, you can play or you can't play. You know who you always tell me about? Well, you got to give him a chance and see if he can develop. Guys that can't play or aren't playing well. Like, that's the one constant in it all.
Yep.
So we heard a lot of great things about him. Everybody's fired up that they got him. Well, let's see. We gonna see. Absolutely, we're gonna see exactly what the deal is. And hey, Stick and I were telling you earlier what the deal is with the mulligan made with Gypsy Vodka. And the deal is it's 8%. I know there's a lot of tough guys out there. Oh, 8%. I drink this craft beer and it's 9%, stuff like that. Yeah, get out there on the golf course and knock 3 of these mulligans down and see where you're standing at then, because it's made with Gypsy Vodka. It's made right here in the state of Michigan. The folks at Gypsy Vodka out of Petoskey. Remember, support Michigan distilleries. They're doing it better than anybody else. And the mulligan made with Gypsy Vodka is an example of that. You can get it at Total Wine. You know, the Toys R Us for adults. That's how I feel when I walk into the Total Wine. Ironically enough, the one in Sterling Heights is an old Toys R Us store, so it's fitting. It's perfect. I walk in there, walk right over to the Gypsy, cop that bottle, maybe a little 4-hitter of the mulligans, just like to have some on hand because you never know. You get done mowing the lawn or whatever. The Gypsy's perfect there as well. Go to the store, ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. Again, 8%. As always, drink responsibly.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Time to talk about Swiss. Not Turkey and Swiss, Swiss Insurance Group. Mark and his awesome team at Swiss Insurance want to remind you that September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month. Swiss can save you money on home and auto, resulting in no additional out-of-pocket for your life insurance needs. Reach out to the team at Swiss Insurance Group. Their experts will provide you with financial peace of mind if the unexpected happens.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl Stick here in the building as well, in for D-Mac and T-Foss. T-Foss back tomorrow. D-Mac out with Red Wings Fantasy Camp. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, they are here. And they are ready to get it pumping as well, because it is time. We like to do this on Tuesdays. Reaction to the weekend that was. Fridays we do it to kind of preview the action that is coming up. But it is time for the Nickle Package NFL edition. Spencer Raxter, you have the floor.
All right, first question in the NFL Nickle Package. Is the AFC West not all that it's cracked up to be? We saw the Denver Broncos offense struggle mightily. We see the Raiders still not have a win. Was everybody prematurely hyping up the AFC West?
For me, this is pretty easy, because I was never buying the Raiders. Never at any point.
I can't believe they're 0-3, though.
Yeah.
I can very much believe it.
I cannot.
I can very much believe that. Hey, they had a nice little run last year. They survived some adversity with the clown show that was their coach. But typically they're a clown organization. Typically they are. And they showed out well in the playoffs in that game at Cincinnati. It was, a one-possession game there at the end. That's cute and everything. They were the team last year. That clown organization that pops up and goes to the playoffs, they were that team last year. There's been regression to the mean. I'm not a Russell Wilson guy. I was 7 years ago, but I'm not now.
I'm a young Russell Wilson guy.
Yeah, I was 7 years ago. I'm not now. Yeah. They have a clown for a coach. They do. Like, look at everything that's going on in and around that coach. I never bought Denver. I never shared that view of, well, it's plug and play. They have this organization that's ready to challenge for a Super Bowl. Just plug Russell Wilson in there. Have fun with that contract you gave him. Let me know how it works out for you guys. So I guess the answer is, yeah, to some degree. It is not all it's cracked up to be, because the Raiders stink, and I don't believe in Russell Wilson at all anymore. Mahomes is the gold standard. Justin Herbert is a phenomenal young quarterback. But, he's banged up, and the Jaguars did them in their own place.
Yeah,
they cooked their ass.
That's pretty embarrassing.
So, and I don't care. Everyone always runs to the injuries and stuff. They still play. They still play the games, and the Jaguars beat their ass.
Yeah. Jaguars are all of a sudden a football team under Doug Peterson.
But that's the magic of winning that game when you're 1-1. When you go on the road and get a big win. Now they're 2-1. Everybody's talking about it. That's the way it works.
Yeah, well, and it helps when you don't have an absolute insane person like Urban Meyer running the show down there, too. That kind of helps. And Trevor Lawrence is actually playing like Trevor Lawrence, not the ghost of Trevor Lawrence. But we're not talking about that division. Yeah. We're talking about the AFC West. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm shocked that they're not what we thought they were. I looked at those rosters on fantasy values, and you looked at all those guys. Man, you're adding Devontae Adams to the Raiders. Wow. Man, you're adding Russell all the way to Denver. Wow, that's going to be amazing. And it's not only how much they paid Russell at this point, it's what they gave up. It's multiple years of first and second round draft picks. Noah Fant, say what you want about him, a serviceable tight end. A couple other players in there that don't really matter, but they paid this dude and they gave up all the draft capital. Denver did themselves in for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
They tried the Rams approach and they failed.
Can't always F them picks.
Yep, absolutely. And they're locked in too, because it's not till 2026 that they have an out with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And even then it's a $31 million cap hit to send him away.
Their future.
You're locked in. And I'm not buying it. In our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Brandon Katz says 49ers have a top 5 defense. Russell Wilson is a top 5 quarterback. No, he ain't. He was 5 years ago.
Yeah, not even close.
He ain't anymore. Second down.
Second question in the Nickle Package. I don't know if you guys heard about this yet, but they are changing the Pro Bowl format. There's no more Pro Bowl. You're not going to get that two-hand touch BS that we've seen. They're doing week-long skills competitions, different things with different players. Do you like this? And is this how the NFL Pro Bowl always should have been? Because these guys aren't going to go out there and play hard when they can get hurt and they're not getting paid for it.
Everyone will watch the first one, and then they won't care again. But they'll all buy in because a Manning name is attached to it. They'll do. This will be the USFL
of All-Star games. Oh man, this was cool. I want to see. They'll have the Uncle Rico challenge where they try to throw a football over a mountain and stuff like that. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I actually the Pro Bowl. I would watch it from time to time. I just liked all the players being mic'd up and stuff like, they're doing stuff they wouldn't normally do. But should it have always been like this? I don't know. Ask Robert Edwards about that, who tore his ACL in a beach flag football game. So, you're going to play flag football. The same risks are there.
Yeah, I don't think it should always be like this. I think it jumped the shark, I don't know, like 15 years ago.
There was a time it was a big thing.
Sean Taylor was lighting up punters on once upon a time in Pro Bowls, and it was must-see. You're watching Jerry Rice out there. Like, it used to be a competitive tackling football game. Then it turned into, I'm tackling you, let's just hug. Right. Okay, you're down. Like, and once the players on the field stopped caring is when everybody off the field stopped caring. I think this is a good move because I used to love the skills competition when they had to throw at targets that were moving, when we, punt, pass, and kick competition for NFL players, the speed and all that. We want to know who's the fastest in the NFL. Tyreek Hill and DK talking trash. Well, now we can settle it on Pro Bowl weekend or whatever the hell they're calling it. But I also said, why don't you add in like a rock and jock game like they used to do on MTV? Get like Drake out there catching bombs from Josh Allen, or just do something with it. So I'm glad they're doing something with it. At one point, the Pro Bowl was pretty awesome. It really was, especially back in the day when people took pride in being an all-star. They just once people started to get paid more money and it became more of a business decision, then nobody cared. Then they moved it out of Hawaii. Nobody wanted to go where they were. Like, everybody wants the free trip to Hawaii. Nobody wants to go to Tampa. Who the hell wants to go to Tampa? People who live in Tampa don't even want to be in Tampa.
That's fair. Those are fair points.
Stinks.
Never forget, Eddie Murray, your Detroit Lions kicker, was the MVP of the Pro Bowl, I think, in 1983.
Yeah. We did it!
Kicked 5 field goals.
We did. Stafford was MVP of the Pro Bowl one
That's
year.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When he got in as a fill-in.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Third down.
All right, third question in the nickel package. Neil's going to love this one. Are the Dolphins a legitimate Super Bowl contender this year?
Legitimate, like...
Could you see them going to and winning a Super Bowl this year?
I can't at this point, right now, because of the health concerns of Tua, just like I can't with the Chargers anymore because of the health concerns of Herbert. However, over the grand scheme of things, they've inched their way in the conversation. You get a win over the Bills, and just calm yourself. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how you do it.
This isn't a Tua conversation. This is a Dolphins conversation.
Which
Sam could have reason.
Which by default becomes a Tua conversation because if Tua's healthy, they're a threat to win the division because guess what? We're 3 games in. They're in first place. Yeah. Would I bet my family's mortgage on the Dolphins or the Bills right now? I would still take the Bills if I was going to bet the mortgage on it, and I had to pick between the two. However, the Dolphins, man, from where they were at week 0 of the season till now, you have to respect it. You have to.
Now they're sitting at plus 4,000 to win the Super Bowl. So,
40 to 1. All right.
Yeah, that's a pretty long shot.
Yeah.
But they're in the conversation. Anytime you're 3-0, you got to at least put them in the conversation.
And you just beat the Bills.
Otherwise, you're not doing your job. Right. They just beat the Bills, a team that I think we all project is the best damn team in the league, and they've shown it over at least the first 2 weeks. Against Miami, even though Josh Allen threw for 400 yards and ran for 60, they didn't quite get it done. So yeah, it's in the conversation. I'm not gonna call you an idiot if you bring it up. Let's say that.
In the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, says the heavyweights didn't even bring them out yesterday. Haters gonna hate. Can you confirm?
Didn't even bring out what?
The Dolphins and Tua.
No, yeah. We're in Detroit sports now.
Ethan Brown says Dolphins are a legitimate wild card winner. Anything past that isn't likely. But you could make a case for it, though. Is that fair? You can make a case for it.
If you make the playoffs, you have a puncher's chance.
Bingo.
That's
you just got to get in the tournament.
We've seen wild cards win before. We've seen top seeds. We've seen mid seeds. Like, you just got to get in the dance. That's it.
Fourth down.
All right, fourth question of the nickel package. Will we ever see Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl again? There is always, when you get that big contract, you lose out on a lot of stuff. They lost out on Tyrann Mathieu because of that contract. They lost out on Tyreek Hill because of that contract. So because he is getting paid a $500 million contract, will we ever see him in the Super Bowl again?
It better be soon.
Like, I will say that if it's going to happen, it better be soon, because you're looking at a situation where that contract... I will say this, though. The contract itself, the dead cap is basically non-existent by 2025. Like, you can't cut him for free at that point.
They ain't cutting him.
I know, but I'm saying, though, like the contract that everybody talks about isn't this big, noose around their neck that everybody is making it out to be.
By the time of the end of that contract, that $40 million a year is going to be like 10th in the league.
Bingo. Like forward thinking, it's okay, and the salary cap numbers will continue to go up. It's just, it's got to be soon, man. And you do wonder, did the window close already? Because not only do you have to have a special team, as we saw when they won the Super Bowl, you have to have some good forward. Remember, they were losing that game in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. They were. Now Mahomes is a special player. Special player. It's got to be soon, though, Stick, to me.
This is just kind of the inverse of what we're seeing with Dan Campbell right now. Everybody anointed this guy after his first Super Bowl. He makes it back against the Tom Brady-led Buccaneers team, and he's on the cover of Madden, 2 GOATs. This guy could win 6 Super Bowls. He's next. He could have had his second Super Bowl in his 3rd year of starting, and he would have been one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time that we're discussing. But you lose that Super Bowl, the next year you lay an egg. He came out at the beginning of last year and was a shell of himself. Mm-hmm. Came out this year, first game on fire. Next 2 games, not so much. Arguing with Bieniemy last game. That window, it's crazy how quickly and how fast it can close. And I don't know. Does he have the talent to get there? Kansas City? Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. If I could say the Dolphins can make the Super Bowl, I could say Patrick Mahomes can get back to one. Is he going to win? I don't know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This says, Neal, they didn't bring up Michigan State yesterday in the heavyweights. You guys didn't talk about Michigan State? Okay.
Yeah, we did.
We're going to talk about them in hour number 2.
We definitely talked about them.
Real quick, 5th down.
All right, final question. This guy is pushing for his second MVP as he has no years left on his deal. Lamar Jackson has more total touchdowns than every other single team in the NFL.
Except the Lions. Yeah.
Where will Lamar Jackson end up? Where will he get his contract?
Because he's going to get it. Because he's number 2 in the NFL. He's number 2 in the NFL in QBR.
Yes.
Behind Tua.
Come to Detroit.
I'm just saying he is. However, that's not the question. That was very lawyer-esque right there.
Yeah.
I need the defense to object to it, then I withdraw the question.
There you go. That's fair.
I object. I withdraw the question.
Speculation.
Yeah. But anyway, the answer to the question, it is just as likely Detroit as it is anywhere else.
Yeah, according to the article I put up on WoodwardSports.com, we're one of the 3.
But we have that ability.
Well, and think about this.
And it won't cripple the Lions.
It can't cripple the Lions because where is the majority of our money already invested? What position?
Quarterback.
We're built for this. We're already set up to overpay a quarterback because that's what we're doing. That's what we've done for the past 10 years here in Detroit.
Guys, it's very simple math. In 2024, as this team sits right now, they have 70 to 80-ish million in cap space with Jared Goff on the books.
And that's $30 million.
At $30 million.
Yeah.
So all Lamar wants is the Deshaun Watson contract. 5 at $250, all guaranteed. So in theory, you could take your $70 million in cap space, chop 20 off of it to give it to Lamar. You still got $50 million in cap space. Oh, by the way, you have Lamar Jackson.
And Lamar Jackson, right. That's the main point. You get Lamar Jackson, and man, can you imagine the culture here in Detroit?
All those rookies, the Hutchinsons, the Sewells, the Amon-Ra St. Browns, all those guys are signed.
They're great.
In that.
And we got them for years. And just wait to that moment Lamar Jackson puts on those buffs on a post game after beating the Packers. This city, the culture, I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson is a culture shift type player. He's not only a good player on the field, what he would do for this city in general. To have a black quarterback of that stature would be amazing for Detroit. And I don't give a damn about race. I don't care what color you are as long as you can get us those wins. But I know for a fact that it would be a cultural thing here in Detroit if Lamar Jackson came and tore it up.
Yeah, because that's the cover charge to get in the club. Like when you guys broadcast from the Coliseum, the cover charge to get Lamar is 5 at $250, fully guaranteed.
Facts.
That's it.
I'm down. I got
and
it.
There aren't many teams that can take that one on out of the blue. The Sports Marketing Agency, they help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast is called This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl and all the other addictions that are plaguing our communities as we speak. You probably know somebody somewhere down the line right now that this is affecting their life in a big way. If you're struggling, or that person we just talked about, if you know someone that's struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named McCarthy on our side.
Lemieux and McCarthy, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Diamonds, it's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play, as well as private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss needed. If you know what you want or want to make a decision, they have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you come check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at fullingwarehouse.com. Again, that is fullingwarehouse.com.
Second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl, Stick here in the building for D-Mac and T-Foss. T-Foss back tomorrow, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here. We knocked down the nickel package for the NFL. Let's spin it around. Nickel package for college. Our own Sam Flannel will take us through.
Yes, sir. Question number 1. Is Georgia more vulnerable than we thought after only beating Kent State by 17 points?
Only beating them by 17. What an impossible standard to live up to, man.
I do laugh at this, like when people still don't realize this, man. And maybe I'm compromised a bit because I cover college sports for a living and travel with them and see their day in and day out and what they do and all that kind of stuff. Every single college game is in a vacuum. I don't care what sport it is. If it's football, basketball, softball, whatever it is.
It's almost like it's 18 and 19-year-old kids
Yeah,
playing.
It's really wild,
really
isn't
weird.
it?
One week they'll be great, and the next week, it's really strange.
They're up 1 week, they're down. And I would say this, too, like even in the social media era, that is even more volatile because you can find what you're looking for, right? If you want reinforcement, you can find it. If you want haters, you can find what you're looking for. And it's just the way that it works. It's the nature of 18 to 22-year-old. I remember when I was 18 to 22. What a joke that was, you know? No, they're not more vulnerable because line them up. Line them up against anyone. Who you betting your mortgage on? Come on.
Georgia. Yeah. Georgia, hands down.
So that settles that.
See, I'm going to use the exact same logic and say, yeah, they are vulnerable. They're the same amount of vulnerable that they were last year. Not more, not less. They're vulnerable because of the fact that they are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And, other teams scheme for them too. It's college football. It's very rare that you run 5 years at the table. They're going to get beat at some point.
All right. Second down. After having his official coming out party last Saturday, this is Spencer's guy. Is DJ Uiagalelei college football's most improved player?
This Uiagalelei thing will never go away.
He threw 5 touchdown passes on the road against Wake Forest in a 51-45 game. Come on, Neal. Give him his flowers. He was great last Saturday.
Okay, him or J.J. McCarthy right now?
J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, I guess he's not that great then.
Hey, I think very highly of J.J. McCarthy, as you know. Come on, Neal.
No, that was a nice win. He does look improved.
There's no doubt he does look improved. Like, he looks like he's going to throw more touchdowns and interceptions this year, so that's a big deal for him. And that was a nice win. Wake Forest, pretty good program. I know nobody around here knows or understands it or even cares, but Wake Forest has built something pretty decent there. For them to go in there and get the win, I deep down thought Wake Forest was going to win that football game. I thought Clemson was going to see some adversity on the road and fold, and they found a way. So, most improved, I don't know. Michael Penix looks pretty good.
Good one.
But he was pretty good at Indiana, too. So
Damn good at Indiana.
I guess I don't know is the answer.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that, too. I defer. Defer to the second half.
All right, third down.
Third down. Which former powerhouse program who suffered a terrible loss this weekend will finish the season with more wins? Texas or Miami?
Texas. Because Miami's dead. They're dead. And this is coming from a Hurricanes guy, man, that loves the U. Benny Blades is my guy. I got to get Benny Blades on the show to talk to him about this. You don't want to talk about the Lions whenever I tell you. He always wants to talk about the U.
That's fair.
And they're upset. It's never coming back there. If it doesn't work with Cristobal and name, image, and likeness, where they can finally go outside the lines, because what sunk Miami was the academics. The academic side of the U won out. They won out. And that's what sunk the U initially. Now I was excited.
Why are they introducing academics into college football?
I don't know.
We don't need it.
I don't know.
I'm not here to play school.
Well, because university presidents, they make a nice salary too.
Yeah, I guess so.
And they like that nice salary.
Then stay over the students. Leave the football players alone.
But you ego, man. I'm the president. Yeah, it's ego. It's taken down everybody at some point, dude. It's undefeated. It's just you could have said whatever program, with the exception of Iowa. With the exception, you could have said any program, and I'm going to take them over the U, and that hurts me because I love Miami. Yep. I do, and it hurts me to say it, but I am going to be what I criticize Michigan fans for. The writing's on the wall. It's over.
All right. Yeah.
I think Texas is better. They're building a better program. The direction that they're heading is better. They got momentum right now. I'm with you, though. I love Miami.
Sad.
I would kill to see Miami back to the badasses that they were. But there really are no badass. Like, even Alabama and Georgia, they're good teams, but nobody's afraid of them. They're not, like, mean. You know what I mean? They're just they're good teams. They don't have an identity like that.
Yeah, and the recruiting slipped a bit in state. And I saw Brandon Katz in there talking about they get good recruiting classes. They do, but it slipped a little bit in state.
Oh, yeah. It has started to show up on the map.
Well, so you guys, I go down to South Florida for work a lot. Where I stay at when I'm down there, in a 4-mile stretch, they had the Bosa brothers, Lamar Jackson, James White from the Patriots. That was in like a 4-square-mile stretch they had those dudes. None of those guys went to Miami. There's your answer.
It's tough.
All right, fourth down. Speaking of Miami, I got to give him a little bit more slander. Which program's terrible loss this past weekend will prove more costly, Miami or Michigan State?
I think Miami. Because it further signifies my talking points from the last bit, and I'll let Spencer's Michigan State off the hook here. Mel Tucker is in what? How are we defining the COVID years, by the way? I have to check with Michigan fans on this one, because when you guys tapped out of the Ohio State game, we threw that year away, right? Because it was COVID?
No, it counts. They did duck that game, and they did lose to MSU.
Since Ohio State beat Michigan.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, though, I always have to get, the basis of the COVID. Does it count for Michigan State, Spence?
No, not really.
No?
I don't count it.
Okay, see, I don't know what the answer is. But anyway, the moral of that question is second year Tucker, whatever you want to say. And I know you'll say first year Cristobal. It's just you can't lose that game if you're Miami. You just can't. So I think in the long run, because look at, even for me, I'm proclaiming them dead and over. So I would say Miami.
And that's exactly why I can't take Miami. The program's dead and over. So what were they playing for anyways, right? Michigan State was at least playing for something. They still had a shot at tying for the Big Ten title. They still had a shot at salvaging their season. 1 loss, you can come back from that. 2 losses, now the season's over, right?
So
they actually had something to play for.
And our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Francis Garcia, Miami, losing to Middle Tennessee State is not redeemable. Losing to another Big Ten school, isn't terrible. And that's especially at home. At Hard Rock, Middle Tennessee State.
I saw Appalachian State beat Michigan. Michigan bounced back. years later, but they bounced back.
All right, fifth down.
Okay, after both having phenomenal performances this past weekend, which dark horse Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback is more likely to make it to New York? Michael Penix Jr. of Washington or Hendon Hooker of Tennessee?
My gut right away when I get asked that question goes to Michael Penix, just because of how good he was at Indiana, and he's spinning it out there for Washington, and he's with some of his old coaches and all that kind of stuff. But that Tennessee hype machine and everyone's desire, everyone in the SEC, everybody down south, their desire for Tennessee to be back, like the Texas Longhorns and everything like that. I want to say Penix on the field, but this isn't just an on the field thing. This is in the marketing campaigns. This is in the media and everything like that. So if it were football, it would be Penix, but in real life, it's going to be Hendon Hooker because of the deep down desire for Tennessee to be even a shred of relevant again.
Yeah, the NCAA does love themselves some Tennessee, and Tennessee loves themselves some Tennessee. They
No
think
doubt.
they are the epicenter of college football. Have you ever been down there?
Oh yeah, we played there twice, man.
Those people, they're still bitter about the Heisman is what they call it when Charles Woodson took it
Yes,
from
they
Peyton
are.
Manning. That's a really tough question. I'll go with Tennessee. I'll go with the quarterback for Tennessee.
WoodwardSports.com chat there. Brandon Katz. Hooker is not an NFL quarterback. Well, good, because it's not an NFL award. It's a college award. Gino Toretto wasn't an NFL quarterback. He won a Heisman too. So
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Baker
Tim
Mayfield.
Tebow. Yeah.
He did win a playoff game, though.
Yeah, it's true.
At least it was a shred of an NFL
I remember running
quarterback.
out of my house when that happened.
What, in hatred or?
No, screaming Tebow time.
Oh, I was in hatred.
That
I
was awesome.
Inconsolable after that game.
First play of overtime, he hits the slant to Demaryius Thomas for the win.
But Sam talked about that yesterday. That was more Demaryius Thomas catching it than Tebow throwing it.
Oh, for sure.
He had a long run. He had to outrun the DB. Tebow did hit him in stride, but he also won a game that year where he completed 2 passes. Tebow blows. I hated Tebow time.
Hey.
Road playoff win, man.
Yeah.
That counts for something.
It was a home playoff win. Come on, Neal.
I'll tell you what,
back.
as a Lions fan, I've never experienced that, and I'll take Tim Tebow's road playoff win
I mean,
over
I meant to
my
say
pass.
overtime playoff win. My
Overtime,
bad.
yes.
My bad. No, I mean, that counts for something, man.
Hey, that was a great throw and a great run after the catch, but Tebow still sucks.
Hey. You leave Tebow alone.
Look at you two. Look at you two going at it.
Greatest college football player of all time.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Fletch Lives Daily says Tebow, baby. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. If you need a haircut,
he was a virgin Christian that was the head of a team full of murderers and drug dealers.
It was perfect. There needs to be a
awesome.
30 for 30 on that team, bro.
100%.
There has to be.
There has to be.
There
How is
has
there
to
not?
be. I don't know. Think about that roster.
Because Urban ain't going to sit there in that confessional and talk about
Facts.
I don't need Urban. I don't need to hear from Urban Meyer the rest of my life, and I'll be happy. So, no, line up the players and let's tell the story, because that's what it needs to be.
Tell the story where to get a good haircut.
Well, if you want a good haircut, there's only one place that you can go. It is Lady Jane's. They got locations all over Metro Detroit, and they got locations all over the country. So if you're traveling, make sure you look for Lady Jane's. And it's the same anywhere you go. You're going to get that precision haircut. You can walk in anytime, because we're dudes. I don't like to put stuff in my calendar that I don't have to. I look up in the mirror. I'm like, hey, today's the time for a haircut. I go get a haircut. I don't plan for this stuff. And that's what you can do at Lady Jane's. So make sure you go to Lady Jane's. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Neal Ruhl here for oddstrader.com, the number one site for all of your game day betting activity, play-by-play updates, live scores, and most importantly, the best price on every game from every sports book. The list is customizable. Line up the ones you have accounts with. Don't play games with your phone. When you're trying to catch a good line, you want to get the best of it, oddstrader.com, that's the ticket. Saves you time, which ultimately will save you money in the sports betting space. Oddstrader.com, go there, find your best bet. Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, stick in for T. Foss and for D-Mac as well, as he is out with Red Wings fantasy camp duty. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. We're sitting here chopping it up, talking a lot of football, obviously. You know, it's one of those things where I really do like the Nickle package. I do. I think those are fun, fast-paced, everything like that. Those are a lot of fun.
ADD-friendly topics. That's what I like about it. It's good for my brain.
We get it cooking, we get it moving, and everything like that. Did have, and don't worry, we're going to get to Michigan State. We're putting Spencer Raxter on the stand. We're doing that. There is no doubt about that. Sam Flannel will give you his Heisman update. I believe he has Blake Corum winning the Heisman right now. 2 Michigan representatives in New York City.
Yeah,
along
Blake
with
won, JJ 1A, I believe he has him ranked.
And CJ Stroud 3rd.
Did he even make the top 5?
Is he in your top 5?
You'll see. You'll see. I love CJ Stroud. Come on, I respect the hell out of him.
You'll see. You'll all see. You'll all see. No, we were talking about this, about the Lions, and you guys actually, in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, brought this up as well. We're back to it now for the Lions, and this was something that I hinted at yesterday, I hinted at last week, where you lost the game at Minnesota. And in terms of this season, not from a program perspective, not from an organizational perspective, not from a coaching perspective, a player perspective, anything, from a season perspective right now, you are right back in the waters where you were against Washington. You have to win this football game this weekend, this Sunday at Ford Field. And there are a couple of reasons as to why. Number 1, 1-3, you're dead. That's what the math suggests. 1-3, you're dead. Number 2, the opponent. There is arguably no more winnable game than there is this week as the Seattle Seahawks come to town.
Yep.
This is it, Stick. And look, you're the eternal optimist. That's what I love about you.
Appreciate that.
But even you understand the implications of this weekend's game.
Yeah, and that's also part of the reason I'm not going crazy over last week's game either, right? We knew they were going to lose games. That was a game they lost. Let's accept it. We knew they're going to win games. This is a game they have to win. And if they don't, this one's going to be a lot harder to accept than obviously what they just did against the Vikings. But to your point, you're bringing in not a great team. You got the home field advantage. You started out this season with 3 out of 4 home games. That should give you at least 2 wins, right? At minimum 2 wins. Because if you start losing home games, we know Dan Campbell has struggled to win on the road so far. Actually, he hasn't won on the road so far. And we went through that a couple years ago. What was it? We went like 3 or 4 years without ever winning a road game. So if you can't protect home, which is something that teams need to do. You need to go 100% at home, 50% on the road. That needs to be your goal every year when you're in the NFL, and that should get you into the playoffs, right? So, yeah, this is a must-win. And I'm not saying that just because of the Lions' record. I'm saying it just because of the tone. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's gonna be the conversations we have to have if they're 1-3, right? It's gonna be what the city is feeling, because we had the buzz, we had the momentum, and for that rug just to get completely pulled 4 weeks into the season, it's going to send shockwaves. Then we're going to start hearing more of the, Dan Campbell can't coach. Why is he? I can do better. And it's like, no, shut the hell up. You can't, or you would, first of all. Second of all, He's got things going in the right direction, but it all predicates on wins. And that's where we're at with the Lions, right? We're past this. We just want to see if they can compete. We just want to see if they can go out there and work hard. We've seen that. They can do it. They can stay in games when they're down. Now, can you go in and close it? That's the next evolution, and this game is the first step into showing, hey, we got to put our foot on someone's neck. We can't come out and mess around. If they come out and blow this team out by 30 points, we're going to know what the Lions are made of. If they come out and it's still a struggle at home, we're going to have a lot more question marks. But they need to respond, and respond in a big way. They got knocked down on the mat. What the hell are you going to do this week, Lions?
Right, and it's one of those things too. And I have a question that just kind of popped in my head when you were going through that, because I am seeing this on our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And Brandon Katz says Dan Campbell's done if the Lions lose this Sunday. They have a very tough stretch of schedule the next month after this Seattle game. And Brandon, I'm not ready to roll with you on that. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility, right, because if things go nuclear from a win-loss perspective, then we have to. I think it's fair to say you would have to have the discussion, depending on the nature of how things happen. But I'm not there yet, so I'll pull back the reins just a little bit. But this question just kind of popped in my head. And Sam Flannel, your reaction yesterday when I put that out there, that Dan Campbell has never won a road game, that staggered you for a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and it's obvious, and we know it, but just hearing it from you was just shocking. I mean, 0 road games so far, and in the last game, they snatched defeat right out of the jaws of victory on the road. And if you can't win road games in the NFL, you're going to be a 5-6 win team no matter what. That's just the way it is, and that's obviously been one of the biggest knocks on Dan Campbell, not just his situational awareness, but the inability to win on the road. I mean, last year you can chalk it up to they weren't a good team, they didn't have a ton of talent. But this year, if the Lions want to do what we all think that they possibly can, some people predict them to win 10 games. I predicted 8. Even if you want to win 7 or 8 games, you got to steal a couple on the road. And they have some winnable road games at New York, at Carolina, at New York Jets, again, 2 times, at Chicago. You got to win at least 2 of those games and get off the schneid when it comes to road wins.
I got a question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Because of the expectations we have for the Lions now, right? Only, let's say, 20 games into the Dan Campbell era. Do you think we're further along in expectations where we should be, and that's why we're judging last week's game so harshly, because we had expectations? Or are we judging Dan Campbell correctly, saying he's had enough time? Because I go back and forth with this in my head, right? Like, we could have won that game. You're right, because he coached us in position to almost win that game. So how are you going to hold that against him constantly? That's where I lose some of the fans when they're talking about Dan Campbell, because you're only giving him credit for the bad stuff. You're not giving credit for what happened to make you believe that good stuff could happen.
You know what it is to me, and that this is an incredible nonverbal connection that we have rolling right now, Stick, because the point I was going to make, and I'm starting to believe this a lot. I wondered if this could be the case, but I'm really starting to see evidence of it. I think with Dan Campbell, kind of the backlash is because of the success, immediate success of Brad Holmes. Immediate success. Like, again, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiden Hutchinson, your guy with a 3-sack game. Rodrigo. Immediate, unquestionable success.
Right.
You see it. You see talent. You know these guys can play. Sewell's getting a gold jacket. You're seeing it. I think that we are seeing one side of it, because this is a two-pronged thing that the Lions have, right? Build the roster, coach the team. Building the roster seems to be ahead of schedule.
Correct.
To me, is that fair? Is that fair
and
to
that's
say?
why I think the expectation bar has been moved.
For Dan Campbell,
correct.
He's expected to keep up with it.
Yes, keep pace.
Keep pace with it. But I think that Brad Holmes has done such a good job so quickly that Dan Campbell pays a little bit of a backlash price for it.
Yeah, and I just saw it a lot yesterday, right? Even people that said, oh, the Lions are only going to win 7 games this year. Okay, they start out 1-2. These people, oh my God, Dan Campbell needs to be fun. You said they were only going to win 7 games. There's 15 games left in the season. They only have to win 6 more. And you're telling me that Dan Campbell's a bad coach if he meets your expectations through week? This is where I just get lost on some people's logic on it. Oh, we're only going to win 7 games. Oh my God, we're 1-2. What the hell did you think the record was going to be?
Here's where it is, though. And I think this is the sentiment that drives it home. Mark Walsh, our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And I'm curious to get your response to this, Dick. Players are not hurting us. Coaches are hurting us. That's deep.
It's true. I can't deny it. I question some of those coaching decisions. I have. But at the same time, the coaching decisions also put us in position to win that game, too. Coaching decisions put us up 14. Coaching decisions put us up 10. So if we're only going to focus on the bad coaching decisions, we at least got to give some acknowledgement to the good coaching decisions, can't we? I mean, I know the bottom line is get the win. That is the bottom line, so I won't ignore that. They lost. That's bad. No questions about that. The W is important. But the fact that we're 3 games in and people are already calling for this guy's head when they only predicted him to win 7 is just stupid. It's just stupid.
I get what you're saying. That's why this is such a great debate that will rage on. It will absolutely rage on because there's a hint of truth in both sides of it.
Right.
There is.
And that's why I have a trouble because I weigh both sides and I battle it out in my head.
Spence, I'm curious to get can we do that YouTube chat thread?
Yeah.
Does Brad Holmes' immediate success raise the bar, or does Brad Holmes' immediate success raise your expectations for Dan Campbell? Because I think it does.
It has.
Fair or unfair? And I'm curious to get the people's am I crazy with that? Are you guys seeing that at all? Do you feel that? Because I do. I wonder about that. Because Brad Holmes is in here killing it with every draft. So, and Mark's comments on our Woodward Sports, that one hit deep. The players aren't hurting us. Because are we getting more or less than we thought from Jared Goff?
More? Well, for me, we're getting what we thought from Jared Goff. I loved Goff coming in. I had to argue with people about Jared Goff is a functional quarterback.
Right, but
he's awful. He can't throw. Shut up. He took him to a Super Bowl. Oh, but they handed the ball off a lot. That's why. Shut up. He took him to a Super Bowl. We haven't been there. You don't know what a Super Bowl quarterback looks like, do you? No. Shut up.
Yeah, Andrew Klingerman in the WoodwardSports.com chat. I'm not calling for his job, but he's got to get better quick. And yeah, you know, the spots that he's in and the calls that he's made and all of that. It's an interesting discussion, and it's one that I want to talk more about after I tell you about Cintron. You know him, you love him. If you haven't tried Cintron yet, what are you doing? Get over there, get out there, and try it. Sports fan, Red Wings fan, they're the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit City FC, Little Caesars Arena. They're everywhere out there. It is Cintron. And right now they've combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into the limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Say it with me, guys. You can try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic and sugar-free, all in one package. Go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. You all right there, Stick?
I'm just laughing. We do know what a Super Bowl winning quarterback looks like. We traded him to L.A. Did he win it here? No, we don't. We don't. Sorry. Like, you can say what you want. Stafford was not a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Detroit. You know why I know that? He didn't win a Super Bowl.
Ball don't lie, man.
Yeah, where is Sheed when I need him?
Back at it, though. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, stick in for D-Mac and T-Foss as well. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. It's an interesting debate. And in our WoodwardSports.com chat poll, does Brad Holmes' immediate success raise expectations for Dan Campbell? 76% of you say yes. Is that fair?
Yeah, he's getting paid. It's fair. If you can't keep up with the rest of the train, get run over by it. I mean, I'm sure Dan Campbell would say the same thing.
But what about the learning on the job crowd? You've heard that.
He is learning on the job. We know that. We knew that coming in.
So is it fair then to move the goalpost on him?
It is. Yeah, it is. I guess fair is a weird way to put it. I just think it's part of the game that he's playing. Is it fair? Maybe not. But is it where he's at in life? Yes. With great responsibility or with great privilege comes great responsibility. You were given the privilege to coach an NFL team. If the front office is outpacing you, that is your fault. You need to step up. You need to have that grit. Is it fair? No, life's not fair. Sorry, but would you rather have that than the front office pacing behind you and you having to struggle? Hell no. So I'm not going to feel bad for Dan Campbell because the guys above him are doing his job and giving him weapons.
Right. So, it is. It's something I thought of that's popped in my head that I think is very valid because you guys know where I stand. I ride with Brad Holmes.
How do you not?
Implicitly.
As Fish would say.
How
do you not?
Because I've never, since I was a little kid in the late 80s, I've never seen the Lions draft like this. Never.
No.
I've never seen fourth-round hits and sixth-round hits. And, we've seen a couple of gold jacket guys be taken when it was obvious, but the Sewell thing wasn't obvious. It wasn't obvious. The Cincinnati Bengals, who were desperate for offensive line help, they passed on him.
No, that's true, but it was obvious for Detroit. It was like a gift from the heavens that Penei Sewell fell into our laps, and that's why I say, at least for Brad Holmes, you still have to pick him. It was the obvious choice, like Christina
It wasn't the obvious choice. I talked about it earlier in the show. Rashawn Slater was sitting right there, who was the better pro-ready tackle right out of college. But that was a debatable conversation. Penei Sewell had a year off of college. And we've seen the obvious choice. Well, shout out to Christina Gennari. But we've seen the obvious choice get passed on many times by the GM. So even though, he's there, you still got to make the pick. Right. Carmelo could have been the obvious choice. Right. Dwayne Wade could have been the obvious choice. But Joe Dumars didn't make it.
I mean, credit where credit is due. I'm not taking away anything from him. He picked Penei Sewell. I believe Penei Sewell is going to be a Pro Bowler this year, and then for many, many years to come, possibly trending to a gold jacket like Neal says. To go back to the question about is Dan Campbell's expectations raised because of Brad Holmes, I think they have, and it's fair because of Brad Holmes' obvious roster upgrades. You got Aiden Hutchinson and Rodrigo, who, if they're not on the team, I don't think they win week 2 against Washington. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is a star already. The numbers he's been putting up since week 10 or 11 of last year, they're Cooper Kuppian. Yeah. That's the word that I would use to describe it. And of course, Penei Sewell, who is already on track to being one of the best tackles in the NFL. With those roster upgrades come expectations, because with better teams, you need to start seeing the wins, which is why I say that the Lions, at the absolute minimum, no matter what, have to win 6. If they at least win 6, double from last year, we can ride with Dan Campbell. Anything less than that, I have major, major questions.
Brandon Katz, our WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Sewell was widely viewed as the best offensive lineman in that draft. The Slater talk was real, though. It was.
Slater he's a legit pro, too. I mean, it's not like Slater was out there bumming in L.A. he Pro Bowl caliber tackle.
No, absolutely.
But there was also other positions that they were talking about taking. We were going to reach for a wide receiver, and to me, that's out of that draft. The Penei Sewell's awesome, but the Amon-Ra St. Brown, I love it because in real time we got to see Brad Holmes have that conversation of, hey, we need a wide receiver. Our guy will be there, he said. I'm assuming his guy was Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it was awesome to see he had the foresight not to reach for somebody in the first, second, third round, but get his guy who has proven to be better than the first, second, third round guys. Not all of them, but most of them.
It's amazing, though, the way that this dynamic has shifted.
Yep.
And I do think it's because of Brad Holmes. Speaking of dynamics that have shifted, I do want to bring Sam Flannel in right now, despite the fact that in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, this is said, please shut Sam's mic off. We're actually going to do the opposite. We're going to turn it back on right now.
Crank it up.
We have a Michigan Heisman update, Sam Flannel. You had J.J. McCarthy as your one coming into the weekend with Blake Corum's big performance. Blake Corum now is your Heisman front runner. J.J. McCarthy, too. Who will be your third representative at New York for the Heisman right now?
Okay, I'm not going to let you bait me, Neal. That's not going to happen. Obviously, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are the...
Which one between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young do not make the cut and get the invite to New York? Because Corum and McCarthy have two of the spots.
Hey, they're both getting the invite. They're the two best quarterbacks in the nation by far right now. I mean, Blake Corum, though, with that game that he played last weekend, that was the most rushing yards by a Michigan running back since Tim Biakabatuka in the 90s.
Nice.
That performance was Kenneth Walker-esque, I will say that. And 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he's at least put himself in the discussion to be the leader in the Doak Walker Award. As far as the Heisman, it's just tough sledding for a running back. The last one to win it was Derrick Henry, and he had a stratospherically great season. Kenneth Walker had a stratospherically great season last year, and he didn't make it to New York, but he should have. J.J. McCarthy, on the other hand, he has definitely lost a little bit of ground. I'm not going to
Lost a little bit of ground.
Hey.
With 7 quarters without a touchdown pass.
Hey, I'm not going to say that he's played poorly so far this season. I think he's
not saying that either.
No, he's played very, very well, just not transcendently great. Although, in the last game, he made some throws. He missed some throws too, but that dart to Roman Wilson and that deep ball to Ronnie Bell, those throws kind of had my britches altered a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. I think JJ will be fine. I think that there might be a pathway for him possibly making it to New York, but he has to step on it and improve his numbers. I think if he breaks the Michigan single-season all-time touchdown pass record and Michigan goes 12-0, there's a chance we see him in New York. And he also has to do more with his legs because he hasn't done enough. You have to be a bit of a dual-threat quarterback if you want to make it to the Heisman, make it to New York, unless, of course, you're like Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, who just put up stratospheric passing numbers.
I mean, those are some pretty good qualifiers. Set the school record for touchdowns and
well, it's only 25.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said he has to step on it. He has to improve and be better for the rest of the season. If he doesn't do that, of course he's not a Heisman contender. I'm not an idiot. I'm just saying he would have to...
I'm just a Michigan fan.
Hey, he would have to really improve going forward and put up some more stats because... You can't, like Neal said, and I'll even admit to this, you can't have 0 touchdown passes against UConn and still be a Heisman contender. Even only having 2 versus Maryland and having Blake Corum be your most valuable player on the day. Not saying JJ played bad, but he's nowhere near the Heisman conversation as of right now. But Blake Corum is slowly entering the chat.
C.J. Stroud... 16 touchdown passes, 1 interception this year, over 1,200 yards passing.
Oh, C.J. Stroud is amazing. I've never denied
It's left
that.
the building.
I've never denied
the Heisman train has left the building.
I've never denied C.J. Stroud is amazing. I thought he played amazing last year against Ohio State when a lot of people are hating, like, Cade McNamara beat him. No, C.J. Stroud threw for almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was getting harassed by Aiden Hutchinson all day. I'm a C.J. Stroud guy. I don't have to like the program he plays for to respect his game.
Okay. I just wanted the update, and I want to know who was going to get cut out of New York.
I mean, they're both out of New York right now. If we're just being honest, and I am an honest man. I'm an honest man.
I'm proud of you, Sam. I'm really proud of you for saying that.
I'm not an idiot.
Because last week it was J.J. McCarthy's top 5. Vegas has him as the top 5 betting odds to win the Heisman.
He's 20-1.
Yeah. Next time you want to vote for J.J. McCarthy or bet on J.J. McCarthy to win the Heisman, just give me your money. I'll kick you in the nuts and we'll call it even.
Yeah.
Because that's about what's going to happen. You're just going to lose your money. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying Heisman's special, right? It's next level.
And look, let's bottom line this. And WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Mark DeRoyal says Neal's an Ohio State fan. No, I don't have. Stick and I are unique, man. Like we don't. I have no loyalties to anybody.
What college did you go to?
Oakland.
You went to Oakland. Okay.
Yes. You went to Detroit.
I went to University of Detroit. We don't even have football teams.
Right.
So that's probably why we're able to have non-biased
conversations. Yeah. It's just, for me, the C.J. Stroud, the numbers are dynamic.
No.
It's 350 and 5 every week for this guy. 350 and 4 every week for this guy. Oh, by the way, Jackson and Jigba Smith not available. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who's there.
Oh, he's not gonna.
He's gonna spin
JJ
it.
McCarthy isn't gonna win it over Stroud or Bryce Young, but could he sneak in above Caleb Williams if he does all the things like be undefeated and break the school record for touchdown passes in a season? I could see him sneaking in over like a Hendon Hooker or a Caleb Williams, who played pretty poorly in last week against Oregon State. But he's not going to win it over Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud because those are just special, maybe 1-2 in the draft along with Will Anderson next year.
Vinny Assad says, stop it with the Michigan players winning the Heisman. It's not going to happen. Vinny, somebody said it was going to happen. They ran and donated money to the local sports book.
Vegas said it was going to happen. Vegas?
Yeah. He got it bet all the way down to 20-1. Was the 4th or 5th pick to win the Heisman. Somebody bet it down. So somebody somewhere said it was going to happen. See, that's why my favorite thing in the world is like when we put these clips out, when we talk about this kind of stuff, and they say, "Oh, Neal's just stirring stuff up, making a non-existent topic." No, it is very existent because some of you put a lot of money on this to happen. So somebody somewhere is talking about it. It's not just me sitting here in this studio with Stick and saying, "Hey, what can we drum up? What can we come up with today?" No, I go off of facts. I go off of what you guys said it. Somebody out there said it because he was down to 20-1 to win the Heisman.
Enough money was thrown at it.
And then he didn't throw a touchdown pass for almost 7 quarters. And I bring up, well, C.J. Stroud this whole time is going 350 and 5 every single game. And you guys, and I would say Michigan's played a little easier schedule than Ohio State has. You know how I know? They played a little easier schedule than everybody in the nation. Fair? Is that fair?
That's very fair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to check in. Speaking of checking in, when we come back, we are going to be putting Spencer Raxter on the stand. The moment you guys have been waiting for. Yes, Spencer Raxter has to answer for his program, and it is that time of the show.
Yeah, so every Michigan State fan that was just happy that we were kind of roasting Flannel Sam, buckle up, baby.
But yeah, we are. We're putting him on the witness stand when we come back and building the case. It's appropriate that Guardian is up next.
Yeah, Guardian Alarm, man. I'm telling you, you need security. You need peace of mind. You need to be able to leave your house and know that nobody's breaking in. Well, Guardian Alarm's got that covered for you. 24/7 surveillance. So someone's watching your home at all time, even when you're not there. So you can go on vacation with that peace of mind. You go to a Lions game on Sunday and know that when you come home, everything will be exactly where you left it. So get that peace of mind today. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That is 1-800-STAY-OUT. Let them know that Woodward Sports sent you, and they'll give you a nice free little gift for monitoring your home. So 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Yeah, yesterday we were out at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, and you know what? Right afterwards, I stopped by to see my friends at Big Frog. My man Sean in there. He will hook you up with a free Woodward Sports t-shirt if you stop on in today and tell them, hey, I heard about you on Woodward Sports. Hook me up with one of those sweet t-shirts you make. They'll turn it around right on the spot, print it for you right there, and if you got a big project, they can turn that around in 24 hours. No setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimums. BigFrog.com/Novi today.
Coming on the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Stick, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, and yes, it is time. We are putting Spencer Raxter on the stand here in the Big D Energy Court of Law. This is a man that laid down the edict as his Michigan State Spartans squared up with Minnesota. I put it out there. I contended that you cannot lose a game to that side of the Big Ten. Certainly Minnesota with their Carnival Barker head coach, with the straw hat and the cane and the monkey on his shoulder with the little cup that you put quarters in and stuff like that.
Row the boat!
Yeah, absolutely.
PJ Fleck's a good coach. You can clown him all you want. He's a good coach. Okay.
Anyway. Here's the deal.
Row the boat.
34-7 later in a game where they were massacred, in a game where some have said they quit. I didn't say that. Some people said that. However, 34-7, you laid it down. You were confident in your convictions that they were going to win. Mm-hmm. You're on the stand right now, Spencer. How do you answer these charges against you?
Yeah, no, that was absolutely embarrassing. It was an abysmal loss on all fronts. I think we had 46 yards of offense in the first half. Completely disgusting. Let up over 320 yards of offense in the first half. Completely terrible. Jay Johnson should be fired. Scotty Hazelton should be fired. Let me find our offensive line coach. I can't remember his name. I just had it. He should be fired. It is terrible. It's embarrassing, first of all. Second of all, it is awful. But it wasn't as big of a setback for the franchise as people are saying, because they did ink a 4-star cornerback recruit literally the next day after getting drubbed like that on national television. So it's bad. It's embarrassing. Peyton Thorne looked terrible. He gave up bad turnovers in inopportune times. The offensive line looked awful. They couldn't get the run game going at all. They couldn't protect Peyton Thorne. And the defense is what we thought it was. Revolving doors at cornerback, nothing to be able to stop them, no kind of pressure on the opposing team's quarterback. It was bad.
And here it is, the talk about the contract, pretty much on cue, is coming in the Woodward Sports chat thread. And I laugh at that because Harbaugh on his last deal was pushing $8 million per. Back in like 2015.
But he restructured it because he sucked.
That's what I'm saying. So I will give you that. It's not a program destroyer.
Yeah.
I will give you that. But the optics are awful. You cannot lose that football game, especially in that fashion.
Yeah, the way you
can't. However, both things can be true here. This is a classic example of that, where your season is pretty much a wrap outside of the Michigan game.
Yeah.
The Ohio State thing, I'll tell you what this loss does do. We're talking about optics right now. That stadium's going to be 60% red. You think that it's embarrassing what happened in the Minnesota football game? Mm-hmm. The optics of Spartan Stadium are going to be just as bad.
I don't think so.
Does this kind of take you back to the old days of Michigan State football, where if they beat Michigan or Ohio State, the season's made regardless of record?
No.
If they beat Michigan, would you still be okay with this season?
No, absolutely not. If we go out there,
look at the eyes.
If we go out there and beat Michigan, which I don't think is going to happen. I said it before the season. I don't think it's going to happen. But if we go out there and beat Michigan, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. The season is embarrassing and it's a failure.
Can you show me on the DMAC bobblehead where they hurt you?
Right here.
Is it here?
Yeah.
Or was it here, right in the nuts?
No, it wasn't there.
Okay.
It was a little higher.
Mike
we were in court.
Mike G, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal is a financial guy, yet the fourth highest paid human in the NCAA is not culpable. Hypocrisy cologne, Neal. And we all smell it.
Can I defend you on this, Neal?
Sure.
Can I defend you? Because I don't even know what you were going to say. I don't know your take on this, but just reading that comment, you know where that money's coming from, right? It ain't coming from the university.
Right.
It's coming from a booster. So who the hell cares how much he's getting paid? It's not coming out of the university pocket.
Yeah. Right.
Those are booster expectations. Not everybody's expectations.
And it's funny to me to see and I'm not a Michigan State fan. It's just funny for me to see the Michigan fans run to these talking points with the contract. Hey, you know what? Tuck's got 7 years to get this right. Mm-hmm. That's the going.
Not for us.
That's the going rate, right?
Yeah, I don't give him 7 years.
But for anyone that runs to that contract, especially that's a Michigan fan.
That's what Michigan fans do.
Yeah, he's got 7 years, right? And he went to a New Year's Six Bowl already in year 2. Like, for me, no, it's not hypocrisy cologne. It's he overachieved a little bit last year, and I was told the recruiting class is next year, right?
It is.
That's the one get out of jail card I have for Mel Tucker and for you, Spags.
Next year and 2024.
But make no mistake, you cannot lose football games in that fashion to that side of the Big Ten.
Not
you
a
can't.
chance. Yeah,
you can't.
It's an embarrassing loss.
And I contend, and Michigan State fans have shown this before. Michigan's got the draw of the big house, and there's always a segment of Michigan fans that are always going to go to the games that have never been to the, quote, big house before, and they're always going to go, even when the team's 7-5, and they're an embarrassment, and you have to buy 2 liters of Coke to get free tickets and stuff like that. They're always going to go. The Michigan State fans on the other side will not always go. And you lose to Maryland, that Ohio State game is going to be 60% Ohio State fans in that stadium, number one. And number two, as the season goes on, you're going to have that 35,000 fan game. You're going to.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And that's where, for me, these losses, that's where those losses are not in a vacuum. Because of the impact that it has down the road. The Ohio State crowd, that 35,000 crowd in November that's going to be coming, that's factual, dude. That's going to happen, especially if you lose to Maryland this weekend. It is, because you're irrelevant.
Yeah. It's tough. The season is basically already over. If they win out the rest of the year, it doesn't matter. If they go and...
They can play spoiler to a couple people, though. That could give you some joy in it, right?
No, it can't. It does not give me any joy. Playing spoiler does not give me any joy.
Man, I thought this was going to be a lot more fun beating up Spencer, but he's over there just beating the hell out of himself.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But if they win out the rest of the year,
I thought he was going to be like a Michigan fan, though.
They're Big Ten East champions. Come on, Spencer.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
It doesn't matter.
Michigan, Ohio State. That would include victories over Michigan and Ohio State. Come on, Spencer. There's still something that can be salvaged.
There's nothing that can be salvaged.
Right. And here it is, too. Go Blue, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Michigan State just sucks, guys. Jesus. They're 10-4 against you, aren't they? I
don't really care about the past, but Michigan fans love to live in the past, so that's a good thing. But Michigan fans always say, "Oh, Tuck's gone. He's gone. You guys want him gone because you can't beat him." But I don't care about like you said. If you beat Michigan, does that salvage the season? No, it means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. It's over.
You say that now, but wait.
If we beat them, I'm going to gloat for sure. I mean, that's just bragging rights are bragging rights, but that doesn't salvage the season. The season is still dead.
MSU fan having it both ways. Come on, Spencer.
Having it both ways. I can't be happy for in-state rivalry, but it still mean nothing to the season.
Hey, but you're acting like you're going to come in with bragging rights, man. Like, you're saying that it doesn't matter.
I mean if we beat you 3 years in a row, I think we deserve some bragging rights.
And you do. And I think you should actually, lean more into that, not just be like, season's over.
The season is over.
I mean...
Because I don't think we're going to win.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I know we're not going to beat Ohio State.
And that's fair. That's
fair.
It's,
I love these guys, though, man. Go Blue. Like, this past year, winning the Big Ten, you went 1-2 in games against teams with a pulse. Like you did. You went 1-2 in those games.
Still won the Big Ten title, which you're giving no credit for.
So that's enough for you, huh? That's enough?
It's not enough for me, but it happened.
It really seems like enough here.
It happened. You're completely discrediting it. It literally happened.
No, what literally happened is what happened to you guys on that field in Miami.
They didn't belong on that field. I understand that, but they still got there.
They had no business being there.
They didn't, but they did get there, and they did get their ass kicked.
But it's enough for you guys. Right there, it's enough. Look at this. It's enough for you guys all the time.
It's not enough, but it matters. A Big Ten championship matters. Pretty soon you're going to start saying that the Ohio State game doesn't matter. I heard you say it when we were talking off air for a home game. Come on, Neal. This is a no-win situation for Michigan. You're literally creating it because you're brilliant.
There is a way to win.
You win.
The national championship or bust. That's the only way. Okay. All right.
Compete on that stage.
Yeah, they didn't compete. I'll admit it. They did not belong on the same field. That was embarrassing, but they did get there. They won the Big Ten over schools like Michigan State and Ohio State. Even though I know Michigan did lose to Michigan State last year. I know. That was bad. I'm very, very upset about that.
Hey, let me tell you what does belong at your table, however. Big Boy, the burgers, the loaded fries, limited time only. The burgers and the loaded fries are at your local Big Boy. It's not just a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? It's the bacon blue.
Fries.
Upgrade those fries. What's wrong with you guys if you aren't upgrading the fries? Chili cheese fries?
So good.
Baked potato fries?
So good.
And the banger, the nacho fries.
Oh, so good.
Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Burgers and fries.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Neal Ruhl here at Chili Peppers Tanning. Join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. Get all the best deals. They'll beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. You can join the Pepper Club. Get your unlimited tanning packages together. Chili Peppers Tanning, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. 26 locations and more on the way. In Metro Detroit, one works for you. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all.
Chili Peppers Tan?
There it is.
I was reading these
Final
comments.
segment of the show. Big D Energy Stick. Always love running with Stick. It is a great time. He's in for D-Mac.
Thank you,
and
guys.
T. Foss, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mutters. Neal can't even go through an MSU segment, MSU segment, be all about MSU. He still has to rag on Michigan. You guys did that. I was talking to this man about Michigan State, and you, the Michigan fans, come in there with your Go Blue monikers and stuff like that, and you tell me, Michigan State sucks, guys. Come on. Jesus, they've been beating your ass for a decade. You've won a half a national title since face masks. Come on. Don't make this about me. Don't say it's me doing that. I can't understand. I can't wrap my head around the fact that a fan base can say, Michigan State just sucks, guys. Jesus, they beat your ass for a decade. Nod your head, Sam, because it's all you can do. That's a factual statement. You guys still gamed the system last year. You guys were able to lose a game and be 1-2 in real games and still, slime your way into the college football playoff. That's fine. I get it. I know why the networks do it. We talk about it all the time. I understand it. I get it. I didn't make this about Michigan. You guys did. I know, and you can tell me what you think. I'm telling you what we know. Was that not the events? Is that not how it went down?
That's how the timeline worked in my head.
All right.
I mean, Michigan State is 10-4 against Michigan in the last 14 games. That is pretty good, and it does burn my soul every single day. So I will admit that is a little bit out of line coming in and just saying MSU sucks. If Michigan beats MSU this year, that's when we can kind of have those bragging rights.
I can't get the Michigan State. They've done everything you've done.
When?
Over the last decade, they've done everything you've done.
Of course. I mean, they made
they beat your ass
They
regularly.
made the college football playoff and get smoked just like we did. I mean,
and they beat your ass regularly.
What was it, 10-4?
So what? Michigan State sucks. Then what does that make you?
That makes us the better team this year, we think. Which isn't wait a minute.
A lot of conviction there.
Those aren't my words. Those are me trying to understand sort of like the psychology.
Team this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you can't say that Michigan State sucks yet. They sucked ass these last 2 weeks, but that doesn't matter because Michigan still has to beat them. If they're as bad as you say they are, we should beat them like 44-10 like we did in 2019, which I think will happen for the record.
Okay, I'll take Michigan State with 34 in the game.
Okay, fair enough.
For coffee?
That's a pretty big... Yes, okay, fine. For coffee.
For coffee over at the Birmingham Roast.
Can I shift this conversation to a personal moral dilemma that I had yesterday?
Yeah, I want to hear this. Thank you for getting it back on the track.
Yeah, no. And Spence, if you could throw this up in the chat for 3 minutes, right? Say, should Stick have taken the jewelry? Yes or no? And I'll explain the story right now.
My gut, hold on. My gut says no. Okay.
I had 2 people yesterday tell me yes. I'm not going to tell you who those 2 people are.
Well, I think that would shed a lot of light on...
a couple of them work here at this network. So I got divorced a while ago. My wife still had a couple things in the house. One of them was her jewelry cabinet, right? And she said, hey, I'm in town this week. Do you mind if I swing by to pick up the jewelry cabinet and some of the stuff I left behind? No problem. I had some stuff in there, like some cufflinks and stuff like that. So I'm going through it. I start seeing all the jewelry I bought her over the years. I start pulling them out one by one. I have them in my own little bag thinking, you know what? I paid for these. There's a couple $10,000 worth of jewelry here at minimum. She did what she did to cause the divorce. I'm kind of owed this jewelry, right? So I take them, I set them aside.
You're damn right you are.
And I hide them, and half the day goes by. I start thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know what? If I have those, what am I going to do? Go pawn them? Okay, what am I going to get? 1/10 of what I paid for them? That's not really worth it. Am I going to give them to another girl?
Yes.
Well, no. Every time she's wearing them, then I'm going to think about like my ex, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, Spence, no, man. Look, I know. I see you working, but no, you can't. You can't go down that road.
So I ended up putting every piece back, letting her take everything, and my punishment to her is hopefully every time she sees it, she thinks of me. But man, I had a moral moment there of should I steal this jewelry back? What would you have done, Neal?
No, I would just let it go.
Yeah,
I just let it go and I move on. I mean, that's just me though. That's how I operate. I'm not a big. It's funny because my wife and I are very different stylistically. She's like a borderline hoarder, and I throw ish away.
I'm the same way.
If I go 4 months without using it, I'll throw it away. And then you know how many times I've circled back to go buy something that I quote threw away? Maybe twice ever in my life. I just like to get rid of stuff, number one. So that's just number one. But number two, for me, take it. It's yours. Move on. Well, see you later.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to know, man, because I was going back and forth.
See, I'm broke as hell. I'm about to start doing the plasma thing again, so I would take it and pawn it.
Take it and pawn 100%. It? That's what someone say. Take it, pawn it, go to the casino.
Nah.
Sam, what are you doing?
I'm probably...
let's preface this. She got to keep the engagement ring, and that thing was no damn joke.
God, I'm probably letting it go just so she's kind of out of sight, out of mind forever. But at the same time, like, I understand the impulse to keep it because, you know, it's divorce is a tough thing. I've never been through it. So, like, it's hard from that perspective.
Yeah, so I think
thanks, fellas. I needed some guy talk.
No, but you know what though? I knew in the end, just knowing you, knowing you and working with, I knew how it was going to end. You didn't tell me the story or anything like that. I knew you're a deep thinker, man. Don't you feel better though? For real, you feel better now than you would have if you still had it.
Now it's out of my life, and now I don't have to look at it and rethink myself over and over. So yeah, thank you guys.
A lot like working with me today. It's out of your life now. You move on. Appreciate you, dog.
Friday, I'm on Ermanni and Edwards. I get to fill in for Ermanni, so it's going to be Stick and Edwards. So
with
it'll be fun too. Yeah, good times.
With Maz.
Oh, with Maz. Sorry, Maz.
Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Thanks for tapping in, everybody. Well, see you later.